Joining us now is Arizona State Representative Republican David Cook. Representative Cook, thanks so much for taking the time to be with us tonight. First, just tell us, if you will, what went on behind the scenes today within the Republican caucus. And just right off the bat, where do you stand on repealing your state's abortion law?
Well, let me say that some of that stuff needs to be kept private in our caucus, but we made tremendous progress in the caucus today in moving forward. It was pretty tough on the floor to keep everybody procedurally where I think we needed to be. The bottom line is that the 1800 law will be repealed. The Senate has taken some action today over there. The Speaker, I just had to go down and vote on the floor to get adjourned. But we are making progress within our caucus, and I think that you will see some action possibly next Wednesday to go ahead and get that law repealed, and then there will be some further action that we'll do in the state in the following few weeks.
So just a short time ago, your colleagues in the Senate, the Arizona Senate, started the process for their own bill. They're expected to return, as you said, next Wednesday to continue that process. I'm wondering, do you think the House would take up their repeal bill by then?
Yeah, and that's part of the issue here, is that we don't need knee-jerk reactions to bypass the rules and the normal order of business. You know, this is not an emergency. Whether this law or the bill gets passed and the governor signs it next week or the week after, it still won't go into effect until 90 days after we complete the legislative session. So we're not on a time clock because we're still working on the budget. And what we don't want to do is not get as much done in this arena as we possibly can. Because when this law is reversed, then the law of 2022 becomes law of the land. And I believe that is insignificant. We need to make some exceptions to the 2022 law. And so we need to figure out how all of these things can be done.
I'm wondering if the bill that the Republicans are working on takes out or allows for exceptions for rape and incest.
Well, that's where we're at today. And it's like a three-part series. So the 1864 law is part of it. The 2022 law, which doesn't allow for that either. And I've talked to, from the governor's staff to other members across the aisle today, my own caucus today, we need to make sure that if we repeal this law, then how do we put those in? Who would vote against for rape or incest being added to the 2022 law when, in fact, it just makes out for the life of the mother and then the 15-week ban? So if we can set the 15 weeks aside and not address that as a Republican caucus, but add the rape and incest part of it in and reach across the aisle, let's come together, let's get it fixed, let's make sure that the abortion law in Arizona is something that Arizonans can live with, because it's going to be on the books one way or the other, and this law is going to be repealed.
I know you can't talk about the behind-the-scenes stuff, but when you talk about someone who wants to allow an abortion up to the 9th month, like to the day before abortion, are you talking the day before birth? Are you talking about specific colleagues? Has someone put that forward?
Well, I believe that's what the ballot initiative, if it makes the ballot and they turn in, because I haven't read it yet, but they haven't turned in their signatures yet. And they told us they have over 500,000. They need about 350,000 to put it on the ballot. Then it would be enshrined in our Constitution that would allow abortions all the way up till birth. And I don't think that's where the majority of Arizonans are. I don't think many of Arizonans, hopefully, aren't there. But I do think that women are intelligent. They run large companies. They're great elected officials. They run large cities, whether in counties, governments, state governments. We have a woman governor again in the state of Arizona. We have a woman attorney general. I can't believe that people would think we can have women in these elected positions and running these large companies that make great decisions, not be able to have the ability to make a decision of this matter.
So I know the country's going to be watching to see if the 1864 law stands. You say it won't. We will be watching. Arizona State Representative David Cook, thank you so much for taking the time and explaining it to us. We appreciate it.
You bet. Thank you so much.